Green, now it's working. What's not screwed in? Welcome all to the 11th of May 2022 Councillor Feedback Forum for Integrated Planning Project and associated documents. I open the forum at 7 p.m. I will now pass on to the CEO who will read out the formalities for tonight's forum.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome all. My name's Alison Beckwith and I'm the CEO of Banyule Council. Tonight's Councillor Feedback Forum has been organised to give the councillors and those in the community an opportunity to hear further from those that have engaged with Council via Shaping Banyule and our community workshops on the integrated planning documents. It is important to note that tonight's forum is not a formal Council meeting. There will be no recommendations considered or decisions of Council made tonight. At the ordinary Council meeting of the 11th of April 2022, Council resolved to engage with the community on 5 key draft documents which comprise the integrated planning project. These documents are the Council Plan 21 to 2025, Year 2 Annual Action Plan 2022-23, the budget for the 2022 to 2026 financial years, the asset plan for 2022 to 2032, a 10-year asset plan, our financial plan, again a 10-year document from 2022 to 2032, and our revenue and rating plan, which is from 2022 to 2026. Feedback on these draft plans have been sought via Council's engagement platform, Shaping Banyule, between the dates of the 12th of April and the 3rd of May this year, and through 2 community workshops which were held on the 27th and 28th of April. A total of 63 written submissions were received and a further 31 community members attended the 2 workshops. As Council is no longer required to conduct a formal submission process under the former 223 provisions of the Local Government Act 1989, the Councillor Forum being held tonight continues to allow the process of people wishing to speak to the councillor on their feedback, the opportunity to speak to their written feedback in an open forum to the councillors and executive. It also allows councillors the opportunity to seek further clarification if required, which Council believes continues the engagement with our community that we have embarked on. For all those in attendance tonight, I'd like to highlight that tonight's forum is being held in person, but is also being live streamed via Council's website and Facebook pages, so that community that cannot attend can also listen in for tonight. The live stream is not interactive and no comments will be heard on tonight's Facebook page or website. Rules for participation tonight during the public participation is that each speaker has been given the opportunity to either address the Council in person or to submit a recording of their address, which will be played via video or audio recording. A 3-minute time limit applies for each speaker. The timer will be used and a warning will sound at the 2.5-minute mark, allowing speakers to sum up for the last 30 seconds. No statement may be derogatory, defamatory or directed to an individual councillor, member of staff, ratepayer or member of the public. A total of 3 minutes is allocated per person, not per submission or feedback. If a person is speaking to all or some of the documents, they are required to do so within the 3-minute time limit. Questions from the speakers will not be permitted. However, councillors may wish to ask clarifying questions of any speaker tonight. I will now introduce you to those in attendance for tonight's meeting. So to my right, I have the Mayor, Councillor Elizabeth Neely, Councillor Peter Castaldo, Councillor Tom Malikan. We have Director of Corporate Services, Mark Giulio, Director of City Development, Natasha Swan. And then to my left, I have Gina Burden, the Manager of Corporate Governance and Communication, Councillor Fiona Mitsonikos, Councillor Alison Champion, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mark Di Pasquale, our Director of Community Wellbeing, Kath Brackett, and our Director of Assets and City Services, Mark Giulio. Also here tonight supporting the Darren Bennett, sorry. Also here tonight supporting the council is our governance team and IT teams and our Jets team who is coordinating our live stream this evening. We thank you for participating in tonight's forum. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alison. Our meeting is being held on the traditional land of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people, and on behalf of Banyule City Council, I acknowledge them as the traditional custodians. I would also like to pay my respects to Wurundjeri Woiwurrung elders, past, present and emerging, and to acknowledge other Aboriginal and Torres Strait elders joining us today. Council is committed to and values diversity within our community, and I will now read Banyule's diversity statement. Our community is made up of diverse cultures, beliefs, abilities, bodies, sexualities, ages and genders. We are committed to access, equity, participation and rights for everyone. Principles which empower, foster harmony and increase the well-being of an inclusive community. I'll just note the apologies for this evening, Councillor Rick Garotti and Councillor Alida McKern. They're not able to join us tonight, but they will be listening to the feedback via live stream or the recording, which is equally valuable. Councillor McKern sends her apologies as her husband has COVID, and she wanted me to make note of that. And Councillor Di Morelos, I believe, is on his way. We have 17 people who registered their interest to speak tonight, either in person or via a video recording. However, as today not all 17 persons have confirmed that they will attend tonight, it's anticipated we will hear from up to 14 speakers. I will call out individual speakers in the order I have been given and will ask you either to come to the lectern or for the recording to be played. After each speaker, I will ask if any councillor has any questions. So as you come up to the lectern, please hang around for any potential questions. Just a reminder, it's for 3 minutes. I will give you a warning towards the end. Only those that registered to speak are able to speak. If a person arrives late, I will have them invited to speak at the end of my list. Okay. So we will begin. Good luck, everyone. I will start with our first speaker and I apologise for any names I don't pronounce correctly in advance. So Scott Kahn, in person, please come to the lectern. And thank you, Scott.
Not sure if that's the short straw or the long straw going first, but I did have a presentation. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, do you want to raise your microphone a little, please?
Can do.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
Yep, next slide, please. So I'm here to present today on the Hague Street pavement rehabilitation. As all of the councillors would be aware, there's been significant rate revenue come in over the years through the divestment of the Hague Street Primary School and the redevelopment of the site, which has led to a significant amount of degradation of this road pavement over the past few years, and I'm calling for council to invest some of this extra income through revenue and rates in the rehabilitation of the road pavement, which works out to be about 680 linear metres. And as you can see in the coming slides, there's some significant degradation. Next slide, please. So justification being, the Hague Street redevelopment, which led to significant revenue coming into council. I'd like to see some of this spent back in the local area and applied to the residents that are living in the area. From reviewing the plans, there's only a $1.95 million allowance for road rehabilitation, which correlates to 11 million for public open space. So I think it's a bit of a disproportionate allowance there. And there's been considerable damage made to the road over the past year through the development of the SES facility at one end, but also through a lot of townhouse developments that are occurring along the road as well. I think the Heidelberg area in general has got quite poor road quality because of the life. It's all coming to the end of its design life, so it'd be nice to see some investment in the area to renew the roads. Next slide. Here's some evidence of the poor quality road, and I've got just a time-lapse video on the next slide. Please. So you can see there's significant cracking the whole way along the road pavement with quite a lot of parked traffic. The property values in this area have shot through the roof over the past few years, and most houses on the street are upwards of $1 million, with one selling for 1.6 million last week. So I think it's privy to have the level of quality of infrastructure in the area as well to support. So you can see there at the bottom, that's the SES facility. That's all, thank you.
Thank you. Before you leave, does any councillor wish to ask a question of the speaker? No, that was quite clear. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Scott? Okay, our next speaker this evening is Marissa John Pillay from the Montmorency Community Hub. So please come to the lectern if you're here. Yep.
It's a few minutes late, so I thought I'd be last.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, councillors. I'm Marissa John Pillay. I'm someone who lives, works, and loves to play in Banyule, and I'm here presenting on behalf of Montmorency Community Hub, a project of Montmorency Neighbourhood Cooperative Limited, which is a new entity established in Banyule, growing number of local residents and businesses and organisations banded together. So I'm going to start by showing you something. My nerves.
It's okay.
So I'm just going to just show you this, and we'll get back to it at the end. So thank you for this opportunity here on Wurundjeri country to present feedback on behalf of the Community Hub. It's a local non-profit with a strong, diverse and growing membership of both individuals and organisations, as I mentioned, and many have a long history of putting effort into creating the neighbourhoods we want to live in. So we've formed a non-profit cooperative. You've heard from us before, last year. We've changed a lot since then. We've come a long way. Our co-op is now registered as a charity as of a couple of days ago, actually. And we're registered as a charity advancing health, in particular mental health, through a community shed model that is providing a physical space for communal activities that reduce social isolation and improve mental health. You may be familiar with men's sheds. It's a similar concept, but it's for everyone regardless of gender, age or ability. Our feedback tonight is in relation to Council's budget. We ask for $266,000 to be allocated in the coming financial year to facilitate valuable community programs that are not currently possible due to a lack of local facilities. This contribution would set up a makerspace and collaborative workspace within the hub, enabling tool-based workshops, arts, craft and tech workshops, and sustainability programs. We have interest from many others, and you'll hear from one today, I think, including Green Hills Neighbourhood House, to use this space. Our project is rich in social capital. We have an expanding network of skilled and passionate people involved, committed to bringing life and energy to the hub. People who recognise this rare opportunity to secure a vibrant community asset in our rapidly developing suburbs. And Mayor and Deputy Mayor, thank you for visiting this space. And for those who haven't visited and want to come and check it out, you can definitely come along. I do have a couple of giveaways today that connects with the picture you just saw. So there's a lot more in our written submissions, and I just see the time just started again. But to finish these 3 minutes, I'll just focus on 3 words: programs and shared vision. Programs are simply what will be achieved with this funding. You can think of programs as activities with purpose. In this case, purposes that are in absolute alignment with Council's own vision. And we've submitted a table that details multiple linkages between the hub and Council's own strategic objectives. But I want to finish with our shared vision. So today is specifically a budget ask, our feedback today. And the budget ask will enable much needed programs sooner rather than later. So that's what today is about. But it's also about the bigger picture, which is our shared vision, and a partnership that has already started that we hope will continue and continue on for the life of this project. So, shared vision. Vision is about seeing and about seeing beyond. Shared vision amplifies and builds upon. It creates momentum and is greater than the sum of its parts. So we did a visioning exercise, a few people right at the start. I'm privileged to coordinate and be one of the instigators of this exciting community project. I'm a community lawyer by background, and I also am involved in a bunch of other stuff, including parenting. But we did a visioning exercise, and we drew visions of what the hub would be. This was one of them. And there's lots of others. You can come and have a look, and we'll put it up on the wall. I just wanted to quickly tell you what I'm going to give out. So, a shared vision is, as I said, greater than the sum of its parts. So see what we can do together. I've got a piece of paper and some charcoal. This is from the first fire at the community hub. So I'll pass this out and I'll tell you about it afterwards if you want. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Are there any questions from councillors? No questions? Thank you very much. Okay, moving forward. Our next speaker is Sharon Fittick from the Greensborough Baseball Club. If you could please come forward. Thank you, Sharon.
Good evening, councillors. Tonight I'm here from Greensborough Baseball Club. I'm a lifelong member of Greensborough Baseball Club, a community sporting club that has been proudly supporting the local youth for abilities for over 40 years. In recent years, not only have we been developing more local junior participants, but we have grown our women's program, which I am a part of and very proud of. I continue to be heavily involved in the Greensborough Baseball Club as the treasurer and also the junior and senior coordinator. We currently are running a T-ball program for children from 2 years up, and we have a junior team, and we run 3 senior men's teams, and of course the women's team, which I'm in. We have 3 things that attract members to our club. Good coaching, which we have an excellent reputation for experienced coaches. Opportunity for players to develop in high levels and proceed to state, national and US college. We currently have 4 players playing in college in the US, and we have players in the state program as well. And most importantly, the facilities, the clubhouse, which brings great community gatherings, and the players and training facilities. Providing undercover training area during inclement weather and during sunset helps to improve the club. So we're asking for a batting cage, a roofed batting cage, which will help us to improve the training facilities for our players. Being part of a winter league, players are drawn to clubs that offer a well-lit area with dry facilities and good weather training facilities, which are safe for them to train under. That's why I am here to respectfully request your support for a new undercover batting cage. I'm currently asking for we've received $30,000 from you from last budget, so I'm asking for another $120,000 because it was redeemed, the current batting cage was deemed unsafe by council, so it needs to be rebuilt, totally rebuilt. So that's what I'm asking for tonight from everybody. This will help Greensborough Baseball Club become a competitive club in the community. We are our club aims to get back to being one of the strongest baseball clubs in the Shire. We are also known as a family club in the area, which is good, and that's what I'm asking for tonight. So I'd like to have your support and look forward to working with you with this batting cage.
Thank you, Sharon. Are there any questions for Sharon? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Our next speaker this evening is Daniel Fuge. I hope I pronounced that. Was that all right? From Chelsworth Park Tennis Club.
Good evening, councillors.
Good evening.
We're coming to you in relation to the Chelsworth Park Tennis Club and the Ivanhoe Sports Precinct Plan. The club obviously welcomes the council's endorsement of this plan and this strategy. And part of this strategy is a recommendation prioritising the upgrade of our club and our facilities. We've been working with Nicole Maslin and Christina Grayland over an 18-month process, and it's been very productive. We've come to a situation now where we've got some costings and some of the funding that we've got, there is a shortfall. So the shortfall that we're looking to identify here is $110,000 for lights to courts 3 and 4. To meet this particular amount of funding, the council's willing to throw in $20,000, and we're looking for a budget funding from the council of $90,000. So at this stage, as I said before, it's been 18 months of getting to this point. Most of the funding shortfall has come from lockdowns, and as you'd be aware, for all capital upgrades, some of the costs have gone up 35-40%. So, yeah, we're coming for, and we're looking to fund this portion of the upgrade via the next budget, the council budget. Any questions?
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you,
for your
Daniel.
time.
Okay, our next speaker is not attending in person. It's Jeremy Richards from the Watsonia Traders Association, and a video recording will be played.
Greetings to the Mayor, CEO, all councillors and council officers attending this meeting. My name is Jeremy Richards. I'm Vice President of the Watsonia Traders Association and business owner for the past 17 years in Watsonia Road. I'm speaking today in support of our request for Banyule City Council to continue its annual North East Link advocacy funding of Watsonia Traders Association of $40,000. In previous years, this funding has assisted us to communicate with the community, ensure that traders have a voice that is heard, and assisting us to advocate for improving project design, reducing impact of construction such as road closures. We've only had small interruptions so far, with the only construction being relatively minor early works. Yet they have still been carried out by North East Link with only minor prior consultation with traders after all the main decisions have already been made. We need to make sure we continue to have a voice with both the North East Link officers, but also the decision makers higher up the chain. Moving forward, we face intense and increased uncertainty. As construction interruption becomes more of a thing, we'll need to evolve how we react to these increasing impacts on our shopping centre. When we wonder just how bad the disruption is going to be, I remind you that construction disruption will be for many years, and that North East Link's own research found that 62% of our customers said they were likely to change where they shop due to the disruptions. Our ability to simply make a living is genuinely under threat. The North East Link project threatens us with a variety of disruptions. We need Banyule City Council's continued support to not only communicate and advocate to the decision makers, but also to strengthen our traders' activities through increased activations, shopfront and other improvements. Banyule City Council has always strongly supported our traders and community. Watsonia Traders Association remain extremely grateful for this support, especially as we navigate the many challenges of the North East Link project.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next speaker, Rob Wendell. Is Rob Wendell here? Yes. Hi, Rob. Please come forward. Thank you very much.
Let's go. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you tonight. I'm the president of the Diamond Valley Athletics Club and also the president of the Walinda Park Management Committee, which is the entity that manages the Walinda Park Centre on behalf of Council. We previously presented to Council a facilities development plan to get the Walinda facility, the only athletics track, upgraded to minimum standards, which is, of course, the home of Paralympian Jared Clifford. We provided Council with an initial estimate of $1.5 million with a feasibility study as the first step. Council decided to invest in this feasibility study to assess the current state and to make engineering and cost recommendations. Under the excellent guidance of Melinda Ramsey, the feasibility study has been sourced and completed and currently under review by us as well as Melinda. So even though the Walinda Park Management Committee does not fully agree with the scope presented by the consulting company, we thought it wise to at least provide Council with this estimate for budget inclusion, so that at least we can start the program of work. We quite like the enclosed scope drawing at the back of the consulting report, although it appears that it's not the full scope that we requested in the facility development plan. Whilst heading in the right direction, it fails falls short in areas like disability access, lighting, solar use, etc. Nevertheless, we intend to continue to work with Melinda on responding appropriately to the feasibility study, But obviously we would love to start, and hence we would like to ask for your support to at least allocate some of those monies, or the monies identified in the feasibility report, in this upcoming budget. Now, as we have our annual presentation night this Friday, which is our Brownlow, if you will, we have extended the invite to councillors to attend, and I've heard tonight that at least 1 or 2 will, and you're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? No, you're right. You got out of it tonight. Thank you, Rob. Okay, our next speaker tonight is Fiona Brooks, if she's here. Okay. Can't see anyone. There's no one around the corner? No? Okay. Okay, so I'll take that to the end, no worries. Thank you. Our next speaker is Zach Anvar from the Montmorency Senior Football Netball Club.
Mayor, councillors, senior exec, thanks for the opportunity to talk tonight. My name's Zach Anvar. I'm from the Montmorency Senior Football Club, but I'm also involved with the Junior Football Club and the Cricket Club. Tonight I just wanted to, I've got some points that I just want to run through, and I've also got copies to hand out as well. So I just want to run through, our proposal is to upgrade our existing non-compliant metal halide floodlighting system at the sports field with a compliant LED floodlight system. The collective clubs exceed 30 plus teams involving male and female, open age and junior. We've actually got 7 junior female teams and 2 open age female teams. The original poles were installed 30 plus years ago. I've been involved in the club for 35 years. The poles were installed 30 plus years ago by Banyule Council. In 2008, the clubs, both the Senior Football Club and the Junior Football Club, extended on the existing poles with sleeves and a small extension of 6 metres with cross arms and metal halide globes. In 2008, that's what you did back then in the day with metal halide. That cost was $128,000. That was fully worn by the clubs. The existing metal halide system, as I said, is non-compliant, which poses a risk and liability issues. Currently 7 globes are inactive, which is the driver for council rec officers and also club volunteers proposing the full upgrade. We've been speaking with Christina Grayland about this project. There's currently an inability to host twilight games. When we talk about night games, we don't necessarily mean about games starting at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. We talk about games starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and being able to run into the twilight time of 6 o'clock. So it's not a huge impact on residential streets. All right, our games generally finish by 6:30, 7 o'clock if we have the ability to use the floodlights. The clubs are seeking Banyule Council to implement the compliant LED floodlight system, inclusive of new poles, as recommended by the council's engaged consultant. For $200,000 is the estimate. The existing poles are not certified to carry the new loads. The clubs will complement the project by committing a further $50,000 for additional fixtures and future proofing changes in the AFL and Australian standards, and an allowance for inactive fixtures. The benefits of LED floodlighting upgrades include, but not limited to, reduced utility bills, reduced power supply to the site, benefiting other items of infrastructure such as the pavilions at Montmorency Park and also the irrigation system, reduced maintenance, reduced spill to neighbouring properties, and also reduced glare to oncoming traffic on Para Road and the local fauna in the adjoining river. Thank you. Any questions?
Nope. Thank you, Zach.
Would you like me to just leave
Yes.
it higher?
Yeah, leave it. Yeah, we'll pass it round. Thank you very much. Our next speaker this evening is Cameron Weller. If Cameron Weller's here, otherwise I'll move on to the next speaker. So no, I'm thinking no. All right, our next speaker tonight is Felicity Gordon from Banyule Open Studios. Thanks,
Thank
Felicity.
you, Mayor. The arts in Banyule have a long and rich history, from First Nations peoples to the Heidelberg School. Banyule has sustained people who give meaning to existence through storytelling, asking deep questions, and creating beauty and wonder. Without art, our lives would be very different, a repetition of the same. The importance of the arts was evident during lockdowns when people turned to the arts for understanding, connection, solace, and hope. Most people would be unaware of the significant number of artists who work and live in Banyule. There are painters, sculptors, filmmakers, textile artists, printmakers, musicians, animators, and many more, all working in home studios and sheds. The Banyule Open Studio program aims to raise awareness of local arts production by inviting the public to visit artists at work in their studios, thus our invitation to step into the artist's world. Traditionally, unless collaborating, artists work alone. They don't often form groups or organise clubs such as formal sporting organisations. This results in the sector missing funding opportunities that could enable meaningful community engagement and sector development. The first Banyule Open Studio Weekend, or BOSS, occurred in April this year, with 25 art studios open to the public and over 40 participating artists. It was an epic success, with 2,068 visitors and 173 providing feedback. Overwhelmingly, visitors requested the weekend occur again. Some brief points about the program. It brought the community together, building pride, a sense of place and belonging. It assisted local cultural workers to emerge from COVID lockdowns. It resulted in significant work in sales and commissions, drew visitors to Banyule who supported local businesses, and was run by volunteers. In 2020, we received a $10,000 grant from the Banyule Council in support of a pilot program. The grant was essential, but it was unable to cover key promotion costs. We would like to request 2 years of council funding at $18,700 per year to set the program up properly while investigating other funding models. Looking to other Open Studios programs, Nillumbik Open Studio is funded annually by the Shire Council for $26,000 through triennial funding, and the Yarra Ranges Council spends $22,000 annually for 2 Open Studio programs. We have provided an explanation of program expenses in our budget submission and are happy to answer any questions. I'd like to finish on a quote from a visitor who came to the weekend, Liz, and she said it was a fantastic concept. Please repeat it. I love it.
Thank you very much, Felicity. Do we have any questions? Thank you, Councillor.
You talked about, welcome Felicity, it's nice to see you again. You talked about the Nillumbik Open Studio. Is there any possibility we could combine them so we could pool the money together to run a program across the both areas at the same time to save costs?
Well, actually, what we've found is that the program and Nillumbik has struggled because their program is too big. There's too many studios open and people aren't able to get around. If you think of how many studios you can physically visit in a day, for that reason I can't see it working, but that would be the only reason.
Any other questions? Thank you, Felicity. Okay, our next speaker is Abdirazak Mohammed from Somali Voice. No, not here. And I'll move to the next speaker from Green Hills Neighbourhood House, Janelle Dunstan, Sarah Willards. Hi, Sarah. You have
Hi,
3
Janelle.
minutes.
Yep. Well, hello, all councillors. My name's Sarah. I'm from Green Hills Neighbourhood House in Greensborough. This week is Neighbourhood House Week, so yay. It's a celebration of all that we contribute to society. So it's very fortuitous that we get to speak to you tonight about our wonderful house and our wonderful community. As you can see from our submission, we've asked Council for support to fund the wage of a green room manager for 2 days a week for 1 year. For those who haven't visited our house in the last 2 years, we turned a hire out space, one that we made money from previously, into a purposeful food and resource community room during the COVID pandemic. The Green Room has become a vital place in Greensborough for people to connect, volunteer, build friendships, while still accessing our care and our service. We provide support that is non-discriminatory, where it is okay to ask for help and everyone gets a smile from a staff member or a volunteer asking how your day is. This connection, this daily connection, is what makes us special in the Greensborough community. You don't just get handed a food parcel. We get to know you, we hear your stories, we care about you and your family, and we find ways to make you feel valued. We can provide a wraparound service unique to the neighbourhood house. Call in our networks and friends to help you get what you need. I asked a volunteer today about what they love about Green Hills, and tears instantly sprung to her eyes. I haven't always felt appreciated being here and helping at Green Hills. Every one of my skills is used and I feel worthwhile. My mental health is better for being at Green Hills. Our Green Room manager is vital in continuing to build and grow the community development of Greensborough. We have been purposeful in employing a member of the community who aligns with the Banyule inclusive employment model. Their work 2 days a week means that they can coordinate the volunteers and spend time with them in their development. They will continue to build on programs that engage our Green Room community in skill-based workshops. We believe in a sustainable future, and our Green Room manager coordinates clothes swaps, resource swaps, composting, lots and lots and lots of stuff that builds a sustainable future for Green Hills. That's one of her absolute passions. We're working on building funding streams so that we're sustainable past the 12-month mark of support that we have asked here tonight. I'd like to leave with an expert from a value community member who's a single mum, has a child with a disability and is now a carer of her own mother. And she articulates the benefits that have been born out of the time, care and sustainability programs that we have built into our Green Room food relief program. Someone looking after you goes a long way. It goes much beyond the monetary value of the food that I'm given. The lack of judgment is huge. I'm usually the one looking after everyone else at home, my family and my friends. The psychological impact of someone helping you and having your back is a major boost. So we're asking for the support so we can keep the Green Room going. It's currently not receiving any ongoing funding, and we'd like to keep the great effort that we've made over the last 2 years going into the future. So thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Sarah. Are there any questions? Councillor Melican.
Thanks, Sarah. You talked about how your program meets the objective of the budget. Can you spell out what other objectives of the budget it meets?
Yeah,
please?
look, as a neighbourhood house, we're meeting nearly all of your budget vision, and we meet 5 of the 6 that I can see. We're inclusive and connected community, diversity, inclusion are valued and encouraged, sustainable environment. We really work on waste reduction at Green Hills. We get food that's about to expire and give it to our community members. We make lots of products and things out of expiring food. We value community assets and facilities. We're working out of a community building at the moment that we've turned into something much greater than it ever was. A well-built city. We're part of the network of 20-minute neighbourhoods. You can come to us and get a coffee, you can get food, you can come and do a class, you can upskill. Our thriving local economy. We're providing job opportunities. We have a lot of young volunteers who come to us as their first sort of experience in community. So our thriving local economy, we give back 20-fold in what we do with every dollar that we have in giving back to our local economy, providing job opportunities and also encouraging our local youth. We have a queer night, we have lots of things going on at the house that means that we're providing a lot of value back. Thank you, Tom.
Are there any other questions, councillors? Just a quick one from me. What sort of hours do the volunteers do?
So at the moment we have volunteers 4 days a week, and we've quadrupled our volunteers over COVID. So at the moment most of our volunteers do about 4 to 5 hours a day, but not every day. Up to them what they do. And we have really young volunteers who are early school leavers, right up to all ages.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next speaker this evening is Sharon Holt. If Sharon's here. No? Okay. Our next speaker is Gavin Watson from the Diamond Valley Community Sport. Thank you, Gavin.
Hi, thanks for all your time. I'm Gavin Watson, the Executive Officer for Diamond Valley Community Support, and we're an agency providing crisis support within Banyule. As part of our budget response or submission, we're requesting some further funding from Council in this upcoming budget above what our usual service agreement amount is for the next financial year. So as we've navigated the past 2 years of the COVID pandemic, many changes to our service have been required to continue to serve the community. Our doors have remained open through all the lockdowns. The complexity of the personal crisis that people are presenting to our service has increased significantly. Through this period, we effectively became the new frontline for agencies to deal with the many aspects of crisis within the community, and this includes mental health, domestic violence, housing and food support. What we've found over the last couple of months in particular is not only did we become the new frontline for those services and referring into those services, but we've become the new end of the line. Many services are now offering their crisis support have gone remote. They only offer it once every 8 to 12 weeks, or they became a bookings only service, and sometimes you wait between 2 to 6 weeks to even get an appointment. Those systems and processes aren't serving an emergency need. If you've got an emergency and you need food or you need a house, you actually need someone to help you today. You don't need it in 2 to 6 weeks or in 2 to 3 months. So resulting from what we've seen, we've reconfigured our staff team and we've employed more people into the emergency relief service that we offer. And we've had to do this to be able to remain open and to be able to serve those who are coming through our door and their complex needs. So Diamond Valley Community Support is committed to helping those who have fallen between the cracks, something we've been saying we do for the last 50 years. But unfortunately, those cracks are becoming much bigger. So for the current financial year, we've recorded more than $100,000 loss to service those needs. And I've just completed my draft budget to go to committee for next year, and we're going to record a loss for next year if we continue. So without further funding support, something will need to be given up in the new financial year. We don't want to cut our programs and we don't want to cut staff. So we're requesting some further financial support. Our current service agreement funding covers the additional time for our key staff to work full-time instead of part-time. But under the new configuration, we're seeking some additional funding on top of that will allow us to continue to cover emergency relief coordination, program and partner coordination, and the senior management at the levels I'm running today, as opposed to what we would usually fund by ourselves. This requires an additional $35,000 over our regular service agreement. So although this is a significant increase, it is important that we remain open, and our community needs us more than ever. And while other services are closed, gone remote, or act as appointment only, that's not satisfactory for emergency relief, and we want to keep doing what we're doing. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to provide any feedback.
Any questions, councillors? Yep, Councillor Melican.
Yeah, thanks very much. How many paid employees do you have?
We have 6 at the moment. The large majority of them are still part-time in some form. We've increased a number of staff from 2 days a week up to 3. And with your current service agreements that we do get, we've got 2 people who go from part-time to full-time. So we've got 6 effectively.
And you get a lot of revenue from the market at Latrobe.
Yep.
How's that been impacted by COVID?
A significant portion of that loss this year has obviously been due to the fact that our social enterprises were shut down. We have markets and op shops. We provide funding from our own means of about 60%. So in the last 12 months, we've given out over $250,000 in material aid. That's without the cost of operations. It's just purely immaterial aid. Through DSS, we're funded $49,000 for that.
Thank you.
Just a quick one from me. The services that you provide, have they changed, like the level of service in particular areas?
The percentages by LGA or by area are relatively the same. Same with sort of between male and female and families and singles. They've just gone up, if you like. But what's happening is a normal assessment or interview would have taken 15 or 20 minutes. It's now taking us anywhere between 30 minutes and 1.5 hours. And that's about linking into other agencies and providing all the supports that people need. So we're giving a lot more things out to people with a slightly higher increase in how many are coming through the door.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, our next speaker, just checking for Sylvia Hammond. No? Okay. Next speaker is John Walkley. No? Okay. And I'm just checking for Tim D'Agostino. Okay. I'll go back. That's my list. I'll go back to the ones that didn't meet before. Fiona Brooks. Just checking for Fiona Brooks. Okay. Cameron Weller. Adbirazak Mohammed. And the last one, Sharon Holt. Okay. Well, that's the list of speakers for this evening, and it concludes tonight's Community Feedback Forum. It's great to have received written and verbal submissions throughout the community consultation process. The process from here is that councillors will receive a briefing paper providing further details on all feedback received during the consultation period. Consideration of the community feedback to all draft plans and officer recommendations will occur at the council meeting held on the 30th of May, a few weeks, 2022. And the proposed adoption of the budget to 2022 to 26 and other plans is scheduled for the 27th of June 2022 council meeting. So I really thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for the time that you've put in for these proposals and submissions. Councillors will look over this in detail and have so already. And I will now close tonight's forum at 7:55 p.m.